After finishing my recent Edinburgh vlog, there was still loads of practical information I didn't have time to cover, both specifically about the festival and just visiting the city in general. Questions like how do you best select what shows to see, how easy is it to book them, and tips for not making an embarrassing faux pas at the so-called free shows. But I also want to cover the more general Edinburgh questions like the best tips for accommodation and location, public transport options to travel to Edinburgh within the UK, and a summary of some must-do activities. So in this video, I'll be going through all the behind-the-scenes planning we didn't get to show you in our previous Edinburgh vlog. If you're new to this channel, we aim to make movies where the location is king, hoping you might just find your next holiday inspiration. This is Suitcase Monkey, getting ready for showtime. So let's start with some general Edinburgh tips, and then I'll go into more specific festival tips afterwards. For me, taking a train to Edinburgh is always my preferred option, since it's often the most affordable and most pleasant. Companies generally release their cheapest tickets 12 weeks before travel, and this can be quite a saving. For example, these return dates fall just inside the 12-week window for a price of £98 from London. Changing this to the 13th week and it suddenly becomes £146. This, by the way, is the same for almost all long-distance train journeys around the UK, and our preferred website and app for bookings is Trainline, which I'll link to below. Another option, especially if you're in the south of England, is taking a plane, but I think there are a few cons that aren't always immediately apparent. The obvious pro is that it's only an hour and 15 minutes journey, compared to 5 hours for the train from London. But bear in mind you'll need more time to get in and out of the airport, and once landed you'll have to then take a local train into the city centre, so it isn't as fast as it first might appear. Next, let's talk booking accommodation. If you're going in August, then the sooner you book, the better. With the festival being super peak season for visitors, all the best value and best luxury spots will go fast, some already being booked by the performers ahead of time. For reference, we booked 7 months ahead through AIR BNB, and although we ended up with a really cute place, I noticed that a lot of the cheaper places were no longer available. For this upcoming year's festival, we booked a different Airbnb 9 months in advance, and this time ended up 1 minute from the Royal Mile, which certainly wouldn't have happened when booking last minute. Outside of August, however, this will of course be a lot more relaxed. In terms of location, most of the Fringe shows happen around here, with most year-round attractions in this area too. We stayed a 15-minute walk out of the centre, which was a perfectly fine wander towards the action, and will always be cheaper because of this. In terms of festival-specific tips, my very first one is to download the Ed Fringe app. Released only a few months before the festival, follow them on Twitter so you can be notified of ticket releases and any updates throughout the year. There are over 3,000 shows each year, so the app is the best place to start your search. You can browse by location, start time and genre. We then favorited around 30 shows altogether, so it acted as a great filter once we were in the thick of things, allowing us to see what worked best in terms of our location at any given moment. You will be overwhelmed with what's on offer, so having these favourites allowed us to focus on things we wanted to see and plan our day when shows inevitably clash over their start times. The next tip is about being prepared for the free shows. There are a number of shows at the festival that are advertised as free and are therefore ticketless. For shows that you think will be popular, it's advisable to arrive 20 to 30 minutes beforehand to guarantee admission. Out of all of the ticketless shows we saw, about a third of them were turning people away since capacity had already been reached. Connected to this, have some actual cash ready for these free shows. These are in truth better described as pay what you think it was worth. Generally £5 to £10 was the average, so it's always useful having cash in hand so you can do the honours as you pass the comedian on the way out. You certainly don't want to be the guy wondering whether it's best to hand in that £20 note or make a dramatically swift exit, avoiding all eye contact. Having said that, there was one show that took contactless payments, but you do still have that awkward moment where you look the performer dead in the eye and give them an auditory valuation of their efforts. So yeah, maybe cash is easier. Next is about pre-booking tickets. If there is a show you really want to see and would be disappointed if you missed it, it's best to pre-book the tickets in advance. For us, most of the shows we had favourited were still available the day of or the day before they were due to happen. We did, however, have a couple of times where a ticketed show that was showing as available an hour before showtime had sold out by the time we actually got to the venue. So again, if it's something you really want to see, then book it. The Edinburgh Fringe app allows you to pre-book your tickets to all the shows and collect them at a number of locations scattered throughout the city. With only a tiny booking fee added on for each ticket, it saved us wandering around the city going to each box office to purchase in person, so it was well worth it overall. If time is precious to you and you want to maximise the chances of seeing great shows only, then my next tip is to do some research on the shows you have favourited. Titles and posters are everything at the Fringe, and they are often the only thing you base your entire judgment on when deciding to take the plunge. Just because a show has your favourite TV show's name in it does not mean it will be any good. Since the shows being put on are mostly independent, we found the best way to research was to Google both the name of the show and then the company putting it on. This information is again found in the Fringe app and usually took us to their website. Here we could get a better idea on what the company was all about, their style, and whether it was actually right for us. There were a number of occasions where the title and description had us all excited, and then after a few YouTube videos, we realised it just wasn't for us. On the flip side, part of the joy of the Fringe is that you never quite know what you're getting yourself in for, so I advise on taking the plunge a little. With a lot of shows around £5 and rarely going over an hour, it's fun to take a gamble and see what you end up with. Some of our favourite shows were just this, so if you go with the attitude that it will still be an experience either way, you can't really go wrong. And even if you do, it will all be over in 50 minutes. Something I didn't cover in the full-length Edinburgh vlog was a show we didn't do any research on at all. When we arrived, we realised it was basically a school production. If we would have known this beforehand, we probably would have given it a miss, but it actually turned out to be a good show. So enjoy being taken by surprise, for better or for worse. As a summary, here are a few final things I would suggest you add to your itinerary. Arthur's Seat was a simple 2-hour round trip with the best views of the city by far. There's also the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo, which takes place right in front of the castle. It features music and parades and fireworks and generally needs pre-booking. If you are a big Harry Potter fan, there's the so-called birthplace of the boy wizard where J.K. Rowling wrote much of her early books. Cockburn Street is great for cafes and shops. Princess Street Gardens has the best views of the Edinburgh Castle. Bristow Square has a lively outdoor food and drinks area. Victoria Square has its picturesque colourful curve, and the main high street itself, known as the Royal Mile, is the heart of all live performances. If you haven't already, I'd advise you check out my full-length vlog with more information on what we got up to during our time here. If there are tips you think we've missed, then please leave a comment below, and if you found this useful, feel free to give us a like since it really helps us spread the word. For more travel inspiration and tips around the world, please subscribe for future videos, and I'll be doing another London video next. Thanks for watching, Suitcase Monkey.